Hello, I'm Frank Pulia, the Valhalla Inn. Just completed the leaders debate, and with us we have Alan Spacek, is the mayor of the town of Kapuskasing, and also the president of the Federation of Northern Ontario Municipalities. It's quite a perspective that I want to ask you of in terms of the impact on the northern communities that you heard of today in terms of the debate. What's your impression of the leaders' information that was presented in the debate today?
Well, Frank, I appreciated the forum. I think there was some scripted answers. There's some questions that they definitely anticipated, but I think there was some that they drew from their personal opinion or that of their party, which was really important to us because we were really interested in what is the position of the leader of each party and their platform for Northern Ontario.
Anything specific that would have implications for Northern Ontario communities? I mean, you asked some of the questions specific to us. Anything that stood out that may have major implications?
Well, I think it's important that they recognize that it's done differently in Northern Ontario, and that's one of the single biggest factors. Too often they're implementing policy or legislation where they want one approach for the whole province, and I think the admission today that that doesn't work is significant. And at the same time, I think we recognize, and they stated that the future of Ontario is in Northern Ontario.
Excellent, and I guess you're referring to the Ring of Fire and $60+ billion of potential development. I know that some of the questions touched on that, and they touched on the high electricity rates being a hindrance to economic development. Why would people want to invest here when they have to pay very high rates? Why would they go to Manitoba or Quebec? And you know, the Ring of Fire and the opportunity to create over 5,000 jobs. I think there was a lot of good questions. You know, cost of policing, heavy burden on municipalities. I'm sure with Northern Ontario municipalities, they all bring that up to you as their rep and their voice. So do you think government is listening?
Well, I think so. And in those questions that you just spoke to, there's really two common themes. One was facilitating us as Northerners so that we can deliver on the economy. We have the resources, we have the skills, we just need the opportunity to deliver on that. And secondly, the challenges that municipalities face in delivering services. Back to that point earlier of it's done differently in Northern Ontario, and they need to recognize that.
That's right. The growth, curtailing growth in Southern Ontario, it's not the same as helping us grow in Northern Ontario. So you're right. We need to adapt their policies to northern realities. So thanks for your perspective. Anything else you'd like to add? Anything that I may have missed in terms of what our readers, our listeners need to know in terms of this election at this particular point in time, which is very important for the future of Northern Ontario? You know, we're not trying to be partisan here, one party or the other. We're looking at representing our Northern Ontario municipalities and what's good for us in Northern Ontario.
Well, and I think to that end, I can assure your viewers that between NOMA, the Northwestern Ontario Municipal Association, and FONOM, the Federation of Northern Ontario Municipalities, whichever party is successful, whoever is the next premier, we will certainly hold them to their word.
Excellent. Thank you very much, and have a good trip back home.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
For the opportunity.
Yeah. Bye-bye.